This was not made in 1888.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you tell me, but I know you're full of
You know,
Stay until the very end to see what happens. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos, and comment down below saying I subscribed to enter this month's shout-out giveaway. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Streak. Today we will look into some of the worst ever episodes on Pawn Stars. Let's get started. Shoeless Joe signature. Certain pieces of vintage sports memorabilia are extremely rare and highly collectible. This fact was certainly on Rick's mind in the 6th season episode Say It Ain't So, when a customer came into a store with a book signed by baseball player Shoeless Joe Jackson.
I found the book in a foreclosed home and a stack of other books. What I know about Shoeless Joe Jackson is that he played a baseball game without shoes.
Not only was Jackson a legendary baseball player, he was illiterate, so his signature is incredibly rare.
do you know how rare it is to find his signature?
No, not at all.
It's the rarest sports signature, period.
Wow.
Well, he was illiterate. He could not read, and his wife signed everything for him. All the signed copies of this book, everyone you see will have this in it.
Being wary of this rarity, Rick asked for any documentation that may support the customer's story.
Normally, I wouldn't go near a book like this unless I had my own experts take a look at it. But Joe Jackson's signature is so rare, and I just have to take the gamble before this guy walks out the door with it.
To his surprise, the customer produces a letter of authentication, and Rick decides to buy the book on the spot for $13,000 before the customer can change his mind and sell it somewhere else.
Of all the sports signatures in the world, this is the one most faked. Okay, and I have no idea who this person is who authenticated it.
Right.
I mean, it's a big risk nowadays with stuff like this. I'll go $13,000. I won't go a penny more. I mean, ask for $1 more, you can just pick the book up and leave.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, deal, man.
Great.
13 grand is a lot of money, but a once-in-a-lifetime piece like this, I think it's definitely worth the gamble.
Afterwards, Rick brings in an authenticator to see if the signature is legitimate, since he hadn't heard of the authenticator who signed the customer's letter. Unfortunately, the expert reports that the signature is likely false. Undaunted, Rick decides to send the book off to another authenticator. What he gets back is a laundry list of reasons to be confident that the signature is a fake. Upon hearing the news, Rick is roundly criticized by the old man, Corey, and even Chum Lee for hastily spending over $10,000 on the worthless book. My wife is gonna kill me. In the first season episode of Pawn Stars, a man brings in a flintlock pistol that he had bought at a gun show.
I consider myself an amateur collector. This is the oldest one I've ever bought. Got a lot of history to it. I think it's a really good gun.
So why are you trying to get rid of it?
Well, my wife is kind of pushing me for it.
Seeing the potential for this interesting piece of history in his store, Corey calls in an expert in vintage firearms to appraise the value of the gun.
I gotta make sure it's real. Before I make a deal, I gotta call somebody and find out.
Good to see you again.
The expert relays that if the gun is authentic, it could fetch a price upward of $2,500. However, much to the chagrin of Corey and the customer alike, the gun is not authentic.
So I would classify this as a very good to find condition. Unfortunately, just right off the bat, I know that this is, unfortunately, a reproduction. It looks the period, and it looks like it has age, but it's all artificial.
And is a modern recast of an old design that is worth about $75.
So how much is this thing worth?
Its value would be about $75 to $100.
The customer, obviously upset, says that the person he bought the gun from told him that it had been in the family as an heirloom for generations. In fact, that story is what made him comfortable paying $800.
You know, I paid $800 for this.
I'm sorry you got burned.
Outside the store, the customer says,
Yeah, so, okay, maybe the thing is a fake. My wife was pissed when I bought this gun. Now she's really gonna kill me.
being tricked into buying something fake for a grossly inflated price is a horrible situation to find oneself in. Finding out on national television isn't likely to make that situation any better. Rick's Bad Deal. The Season 5 episode, Corey's Big Play, features a customer with a set of artifacts from an Arizona prison intending to free himself of his wares.
Well, we got a Wells Fargo strongbox and some antique ball and chain.
I've had a ball and chain for 50-some years, son.
Don't talk about my mother that way.
Carrying a couple of balls and chains from the Yuma prison in an antique Wells Fargo strongbox, the customer hopes to leave the store with $2,000.
I'm looking to get around $2,000 for everything. The least I would take is probably around $18,000.
Upon closer inspection, the balls have the prison name embossed on them.
Here's my concerns. Never in the history of any prison did they ever have their name put on the balls.
and the chains appear to have been electrically welded.
And my other big concern, when they forged chains back in the 1800s, it was just hot welding together. You know, get it hot, beat it together. It was all done by a blacksmith. See how these have arcs from an arc welder?
Sure, okay.
Okay,
Making both sets of items inauthentic recreations.
Okay, so what are you trying to say?
it's fake.
What makes you an expert on this stuff?
I've been buying and selling this stuff my entire life.
Despite having some fake prison keepsakes, the strong box passes Rick's inspection.
But the box might be real. You know, my big problem is we have a box full of fake stuff, gives me real doubt about the box.
This stuff was not inside the box. I actually just bought it all and I put it in the box.
All right, so that makes a lot more sense. This makes me feel a lot better about the box.
So he begins negotiations at $400, eventually settling at $450. Rick secures the Wells Fargo box to determine the box's value. Rick brings in a museum administrator to appraise the box.
First things first, have you already bought this?
That sounds bad. I've already bought it.
I don't have good news for you. This is a complete fantasy piece. It's a complete fake.
Damn it, Rick.
It's one of the most faked items out there.
But when it's revealed that the box is a fake, the old man chides Rick, saying he suspected the box to be fake the entire time.
I thought it was fake to start with.
Well, then why didn't you say anything?
When asked why he didn't speak up and keep Rick from wasting all that money, the old man replied, "Now I can holler at you." A customer's reaction alerts security. Hoping to make some money by parting with some art, a customer visits the gold and silver with a statue of Perseus and Pegasus, made by Emily Louise Bacall in the second season episode of Flight of the Chum.
This is a statue called Pegasus, and this is Perseus. Perseus was the mythological figure that killed Medusa.
Being familiar with Bacall's work, Rick knows that his statues are highly collectible and worth thousands of dollars.
If this is a genuine Bacall, we're talking thousands of dollars. His sculptures are highly collectible.
So he gives the customer's item a thorough look. Rick immediately becomes suspicious when he finds markings on the statue that do not match the period it was produced in.
What doesn't look right is there's some pitting right here. And that crack right there is from when they casted it. It didn't happen later.
Then he finds markings engraved on the statue showing that it was made in the United States. Since the artist is French, this confirms that the statue is a reproduction.
This was not made in 1888.
At the suggestion that the statue may not be entirely authentic, the customer gets angry with Rick. Agitated, the customer says,
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you tell me, but I know you're full.
As the tension mounts, the pawn shop security guard, Antoine, begins walking towards the customer in case an intervention is needed. However, he's waved off by Rick.
It's all right, Antoine. I got it. That's just what I see.
In the end, the old man diffuses the situation by calmly yet firmly explaining that they're not interested in buying the statue.
We really appreciate you bringing it in, but it's not for us. That's all I can tell you.
Chum Lee faces the music after buying a fake Gibson.
Hey, Rick. Corey, Rick. I guess no one's here.
In the Season 4 episode, appropriately titled Face the Music, Chum Lee strikes a bargain for $1,500 with a customer over what appears to be an authentic Gibson mandolin.
I decided to come to the pawn shop today to sell my vintage Gibson mandolin. I picked it up at a yard sale. I'm looking to sell it today because I'd like to take the family on a trip to Ireland. I know the name Gibson, so I took a gamble and thought I would pick it up and hopefully I can make some money off it.
However, this bargain was struck before an expert could be brought in to assess the instrument, a mistake that would cost Chum Lee dearly. Once the expert is brought in to assess the mandolin, it's not only revealed to be fake, but it's an obvious one at that. In the words of the expert himself,
This is fake as hell, man.
so what exactly gave the imposter away? Well, for starters,
The decal was cut out on this mandolin. It would have been inlaid or silk screened. It wouldn't even have been a decal. And it's not even a G that Gibson ever used. You got your decal in there like a Gibson, but it's not the right decal.
to make matters worse,
And the finish is like plastic. Totally wrong. It's something Gibson never even used.
this long list of issues, along with a few other giveaways, makes it all the more of a gut punch for poor Chum Lee.
I just paid $1,500 for that. Ouch. Is it worth anything? Yeah, maybe about $100.
When he has to tell Rick and the old man that he blew $1,500 on a bad knockoff. So how exactly is Chum Lee supposed to get back that money? In a somewhat fitting punishment, he's forced to play the fake mandolin outside the shop for tips to earn back the losses of the investment. Hopefully Chum Lee can play the mandolin as well as the seller played him.
Absolutely.
This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.